And the reason why we are kind of sensitive to time is because we have our Czech colleagues are online and it's already late at night there, so we don't want to keep them for too long. But yeah, so.
All right. Well, thanks for everyone coming this afternoon. And thanks for our colleagues in the Czech Republic who are with us. It's what, about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, 10:30, I think.
Yeah.
And so want to move on. But I want to thank everyone for coming to this 3-country event on transition. We have food over there. I don't really need to announce it because I think everyone was congregating over there, but I want to explain what is over there. We're representing all 3 countries. We have the Czech Republic with a Czech style lemonade of elderflower and mint. We have chilled fried bananas of Singapore. There's durian smoothie over there. And if you haven't had durian before, it's a pretty pungent taste, but I cut it with lots and lots of vanilla ice cream. And so I could not find a caterer who serves these 2 things, but luckily we have a Czech baker right here in Minnesota who brought pastries from, so they're Czech pastries. And then again, these are Zoom folks from Czech Republic. And so we're going to keep them up during our presentation, and we're so happy. I think they're all in, most of them are in one place having a little party to celebrate this. So it's kind of fun. You can see them up here. And so just a quick introduction to this. This event today is really to showcase our exhibit. And Renata and her colleagues are going to talk about the project itself that led to this exhibit that features transition students documenting their everyday items of their everyday life and on digital. And then from digital, we printed them onto photo paper. I do want to point out that ICI has a e-newsletter. It's a monthly newsletter that there's this really beautiful article that was written by our writer and editor, Janet Stewart. Oh, she's right there. And it's and it really encompasses the whole project and the exhibit as well. And so feel free to find that website right there and read about that if you have more questions. I also want to point out that there's a survey that we would like each of you to take part in and to share this with friends and family who come and see the exhibit or colleagues that are here. I don't know if you wanted to talk more about that now or later.
Just to say that it's the purpose of it is as you are walking around looking at the different photos, we really would love your feedback, just like how do you see the photos differently? Do you see any differences between the transition experiences of students from Singapore, from the Czech Republic, from Minnesota? It's really just reflections on the photos, so that would be appreciated. You can do it on paper. You can also scan a QR code to read that, and the responses will be anonymous.
So I just wanted to briefly talk about the exhibit itself, about the artwork that you're seeing, the photos, and then later, Renata, like I said, Renata and colleagues will talk about the project itself. So for those of you who have never met me, my name is Nick Verholst, and I am the Art for All program manager. It's a Stephanie Evelo program for art inclusion. And when we curate art for All, we're looking at fine art. Typically your paintings, your drawings, and your ceramics. And so this is the 3rd project that I've worked with Renata on. And Renata is no stranger to finding or producing, let's use the word unique, projects for me to exhibit. And so that's a good thing, because the motto of Art for All is widening the circle of artists to create more beautiful communities. And when she presents these exhibits for me to take a roll at, and I'm like, how am I going to create this into an exhibit? It just pushes that forward even further and even further. And so when you get a chance to look at the photos, we have projects that are very similar from 3 different countries, but they're very different as well. And when I looked at these photos, I was seeing from Singapore, very practical photos being taken. I can load my own money onto my train card. I can purchase food at a grocery store. These are very practical things, but there's sometimes things that we might take for granted in our everyday life. And so, but you think about that, and that's independence, that's choice. That's what I get to do on my own. And then in the Minnesota photos, they're opening themselves up and they're letting us into their personal lives. This is my pet. This is what I do for a living. This is artwork that I pass every day on my way through. So then we look at the Czech photos. And as I say in the article that you're going to read later, there's kind of straddling both here. They are talking about practical things. They are talking about real life things that are happening in their lives. And then they're using creativity with drawings, telling their life. And then they're displaying those drawings across the projector onto themselves. So it continues that conversation. So I hope you get a chance to see what I see in those photos. And the install itself is very symmetrical. You've got bookend on grass rope with everything is very precisely in some ways. But if you keep looking further, you're going to see imperfections within that perfection. And I think in life, we're always looking for symmetry. But what the students have done is they're documenting things we always experience, that life isn't symmetrical. It isn't, there is chaos in it. And so we have to balance. We have to balance. And I hope that you see that in this exhibit as well. And then when I think about all of these projects coming together, really the thing is that these are things that we may always, or for me, I might take for granted. I might not think about or take pause in my day to think about these everyday things. And what makes us all humans is that we always think, what does the future look like? And I hope this exhibit will allow everyone to take pause and think about that as well. Our gallery is also online. Each project has their own gallery, so you can go ahead and find those. It is on our website, art.ici.umn.edu as well. And so you can see that. There's photos, but I will also point out that the Czech students also created videos. So that's kind of fun. And there's an iPad in there, or you can go to these online galleries to watch those as well. And so that's all I wanted to say about the exhibit. I want to hand it off to Renata and her colleagues to talk about the projects.
All right, thank you, Nick. And as we all know, without Nick, this wouldn't happen. So just a few words. So I represent the Minnesota project on transition. And I do want to acknowledge the whole team here. So my colleagues, Brian, Matt, James, Emily, Singhi, John. Anyway, so we have a whole team on this 5-year project focused on the transition experiences of youth in Minnesota. And also we have Jenny is here, who represents our partner district, ISD 196, as a transition coordinator, who will also say a few words. But I just want to say maybe just one thing. We as academics, or at least I as an academic, like often talk about transition and think about transition in very academic terms, even when we work with the Department of Human Services and their transition framework. We were talking to the students. So we met with the students, we gave them the cameras. They had the cameras for 2 weeks. And then, we came back and then we interviewed each of the students about the photos, and I wasn't ready for that. You know, we had our questions, and what surprised me most is that we're not really about transition in our academic journals. They were talking about their feelings about transition, not about transition to employment, transition to community living, transition to new housing. They were talking about, like Nick said, about their pet, about their friend, where they go every day. They also talked about the stress that they experience during the transition period and the joys and happiness that happens during that time. And so it totally changed my view as I think about transition from kind of these academic categories to how does the person really feel and what it matters to them. And these images that you will see that Nick has displayed really illustrate that. So with that, I'll ask my colleague Jan to talk about the Czech side of things.
Thank you, Renata. Well, thank you, Nick, for putting it all together. My name is Jan Šiška, I'm from the Czech Republic. However, I have been attached to Minnesota for almost 2 years as a former Fulbright scholar, and I have been involved in a couple of projects here at the center. First of all, I would like to say hi to my colleagues in Pilsen who are having sort of a party celebrating this big achievement. They are not sitting in a room like this one. It's one of my colleagues' kitchen, actually, with a huge screen, and I believe they are having a good time. At the same time, we have a number of colleagues from our schools who joined the session today. Well, I haven't done much in terms of preparing the exhibit today. These are my colleagues led by Masha and with the other members of the group. We have been working on the transition project in the Czech Republic for this is our 2nd year, and we are looking at how young people have been experiencing a transition already in the school. We have also other group who has gone through a transition, and we are trying to understand how young people what is important for them in terms of transition outcomes, if you like. Well, we have done some kind of a research literature, and surprisingly enough, nothing much is known about what is understood as a successful transition. It's thousands of publications, but if you look at for an answer, how people, what is a successful transition, you would have to get research. You have in our project. I think this is a unique opportunity in many ways. We all have wishes and dreams about our lives as we go through our lives, wishes and dreams for tomorrow, but for next year, maybe for next 5 years. And we every day share these dreams and wishes. And we use words, we communicate verbally most of the time. And this is a good, a unique opportunity to share those dreams and wishes and experiences a little bit differently, by pictures, paintings, drama. And I think that there's a second opportunity, which is to, I do hope this our groups from Singapore, from the Czech Republic and from Minnesota, they might work together in the future using the art or pictures to share the experience. Also in Singapore, I think they speak 4 or 5 languages, including Tamil, Hindu, English. We have only 1 language, you speak English here. So, you know, this is only the beginning, I believe, of the future collaboration between our 3 groups. Saying that, Pilsen seems to be becoming quite a sort of and a unique city in terms of research and arts and conferences. We are going to organize a big international conference next year, 2024, in person on special education. So you have a chance, please, to come to person. This is all what I wanted to say. And so I would like now to invite Masha to say a few words from the kitchen, from our studio in the kitchen, and to share a few words with us.
Yeah, thanks. We are prepared here in kitchen, and it not means that this is only one personal computer in whole Czech Republic, and we have also Teresa's here. If because of my English, as you can hear, and we appreciate to make this contact, and we really likes to send our things. And this is Michael and Simona, our participants, and you can see on exhibition their works. And what do you like the most on workshop? Co jste měli nejradši na těch workshopech? Song, pray. They like to sing, speaking. And he likes the route, preparing the meals, and also, yes, they are both very good in preparing party for everybody. So also maybe there is also the reason how we enjoy the cooperation together, because we really likes to make it very friendly. And he also likes the people to have in workshop, the other participants. So maybe that's what we like. If it was the question, yes, maybe it was. So. And Michael wants to say hello to his girlfriend, which is also here. So we are very appreciate that everybody see this work, and we really like it. It's for us very Sam can. Yeah, and he is the friend. He wants to say that. So we can, because everyone can. Maybe that's about the adultness and about the dreams we have. Jaký máme? We have. About our dreams. So today we realized we also want to sing and dance as much as is possible in musicals. So he really likes to sing and perform about his dreams and about the theater and about the school. And he really wants to be an actor in TV. So this is something like this. Maybe this is the part of the wish come true, because it's now really happened. Because we see you in a TV, so he is on a TV now. So maybe the same. And Cynthia, also wants to, and she wants to greet her parents and say about them that they are from Ukraine, and she speaks about her life, her story, which is also will be in maybe some next exhibitions, because Cynthia is on. She was speaking about what she will do if she will be the president, and first, which we made on Elevations Day, which was in Czech. and we tried to make a stylized stamp, like president stamp. And her claim of to be a president was ban disgusting behavior towards two people. So if she will be the president, the first thing she will do to teach people, be polite, be nice, be kind. So that's the claim, maybe.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I was speaking in English. I hope it was something. So really pleasure for us.
And helpful.
And he is also strong, yeah, and helpful. So thanks. And we really want to hear your stories.
Děkujeme.
Aha, děkujem taky.
So, was English. So Jenny, as I said, is one of our important partners for the project, representing District ISD 96, and of course in charge of the students that we work with. So I'll just let her say a few words.
Well, I didn't have anything planned, so thank you, Renata. I think as I sat and listened, I've been able to sit through parent interviews and student interviews, and I'm sad that I didn't sit through the photo discussions, because I think that would have been another insight into the lives of our students. And through this project, at the beginning part of the project, I personally have learned so much about the students and about the families, and am so excited by the learning that we're having and the opportunity. And also the fact that we're going to get an extra year with many of our students now through to age 22. And I feel an honor of being able to close out students' public education experience with transition services. And I think it's a moral obligation. I think it is just a wonderful opportunity to build some really strong relationships and allow students to have voice and choice in what they study and how they study it, and incorporate some of the most authentic learning that we can for individuals, so that they can be as successful as they possibly can be as they enter into out of education further into their adulthood. So thank you for the invitation to participate, and there you go.
All right, thank you. And so just a couple of things. We have our third project funded by the Embassy in Singapore. Of course, in Singapore, it's the middle of the night right now. So our colleagues did send a couple of recordings. I do also want to acknowledge we have online Svensson. Many of you know her. She's our dear colleague who is the president of Inclusion International. So it's great she joined us online as well. But the Singapore project also was focused, or is focused, on transition. And our colleagues there did a very similar technique as we used for the Minnesota project. And have 10 photos displayed as well. And Lynette Levin, our colleagues, will be explaining through the video clip about that particular project.
Hi, everyone. Greetings from Singapore. I'm Levin Lim from the National Institute of Education here in Singapore, and next to me is...
I'm Lynette. I'm the principal of a special school in Singapore. It's called Rainbow Center, Margaret Drive School. We support students with moderate to severe autism and multiple disabilities in their education.
We and the rest of the project team would like to especially acknowledge and give thanks to the US Embassy in Singapore for funding and supporting us for this project, in particular, Christine Fowler and Wendy Ng.
Okay, so we're here to just say a little bit about the photographs that you will see in the exhibition. They're of my students, and my students are participating in an activity in school called the community-based instruction. It's part of our curriculum, where we have our students go out into the community and to really participate and experience what the community setting would be like. And this is so that they can acquire the skills and the confidence to really be able to transit into adulthood. And you'll see that our students being in the community, they access public spaces like the public transport. You'll see them in the shopping malls, in the supermarkets, buying groceries, also in the outdoor spaces, and also some restaurants and food centers. These are all spaces that are really frequented by the majority of the population here in Singapore, because we love shopping and we love eating. And these are also the spaces that will provide them with access to services that will support them to live as independently as they can. And these photographs are very important because they capture moments where our students are interacting with service providers in the community. It captures moments where our students are interacting with each other, and while they're out there with their classmates, some of them are friends as well. And it gives them that real life experience to know what is out there in the community, to know how they can access these services. And they always look forward to these days when they have CBI in their school day. And they're very happy and they're excited to really take the train to go to the different places around Singapore. They're very happy to really be able to, purchase things and interact with the cashiers that they're talking to. And it also gives the people in the community, the service providers and the wider community, an opportunity to see, engage, and communicate with our students. And that's essentially what we really want for the whole of our Singapore society, essentially. So we do hope that you will enjoy the photos, and the photos will give you a glimpse of what it's like in Singapore, what a regular life or regular day is like in Singapore for our students. And we hope that, when you visit Singapore one day, you'll actually recognize some of these places as well. So thank you very much.
Enjoy the exhibition.
Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of U.S. Embassy Singapore, a big congratulations to the University of Minnesota's Institute of Community Integration, Fora Education, National Institute of Education Singapore, and Rainbow Center for making this special exhibition possible. This inaugural U.S.-Singapore collaboration supports youth with disabilities and their families in transitioning from school into the community by developing regenerative societies through diversity and inclusion. The United States believes that diversity is one of our greatest strengths, and we all benefit from building more diverse, equitable, inclusive, and accessible societies. This is a value that the US and Singapore share. Thanks to the dedication and hard work of the project team, led by Matthew, Alicia, Brian, Renata, Lavon, and Lynette, youth from the US and Singapore were empowered to experiment with the Community Engagement Toolkit and take photographs that provided a window into their daily lives and their hopes for the future. We are very grateful to the National Institute of Education Singapore and Rainbow Center for embarking on this learning journey with our US partner organizations. We hope this marks the start of more exchanges between the US and Singapore that benefit diverse communities. This exhibition shows how international exchanges that support diversity and inclusion initiatives can strengthen learning and understanding. Thank you again to the project team for such great work. To the youth who participated, thank you for sharing your lives and dreams through your beautiful photographs. Hello, everyone.
I think that kind of concludes the formal opening. I see that Amy came in, our director. For my colleagues who don't know our director, that's Amy Hewitt over here. I know most of us know you, but I've got some Czech colleagues here who may not. Any questions or comments before we get to see the photos and have some food? All right, thank you,
Don't
everyone.
forget, grab the
Yes, and please,
survey.
if you can just do some reflection on the photos as you are perusing them. Yeah, thank you,
You
everybody.
can also do this online, and then if you did park in the Ram, just come and see me. Take care of you. That's it.
Okay, enjoy.
Thank you so much.